Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk Palace. Today we are previewing the Man City game, talking a little bit on transfers as well, because even though it's been just a couple of days since you last heard these beautiful voices, there has been a lot going on in the world of Crystal Palace and transfers. As always, do not forget to subscribe, like, follow if you're also listening on Spotify as well. We're really appreciating all the feedback and the really nice comments we've been getting lately on these videos. It's really appreciated and will just make us want to do more and more work for you guys. Henry, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling for City?
I'm okay. How I'm feeling today? I'm tired, guys. If I yawn, I'm really sorry. I'm on overnights at work this week. Like, I literally went to sleep at 9 a.m. this morning, and it's now 4:30. I've not had enough sleep. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah. Every time, like, it's like this. Just this week that I'm on overnights, all the news is breaking in the mornings. Like, all the news was breaking like kind of in the evenings before, and now everything's coming out at like 10, 11 a.m. So I've got a lot of catching up to do. I literally was sat there scrolling through Twitter. I woke up about 15 minutes before we started filming. So I'm sat there scrolling through trying to make sure I catch up on everything so I know what's going on. How I'm feeling about City? Not great. Not
Yeah, I'm
great, mate.
feeling excited, but it doesn't feel like a positive result's going to happen, does it?
No, it feels really unlikely. I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong. But yeah, there's just too much shit going on away from the pitch at the minute, which it just feels like it is going to have an impact.
Yep, and let's talk about it. Kind of feels like, as you're saying, there's too much going on. It kind of feels like hour by hour there's a new update, but we'll cover the positive news, and that is Axel Disasi has officially signed for Crystal Palace. We have a centre back in through the door, which is obviously made even more important by the fact that Chadi Riyad is not available at the moment. The latest on him, by the way, is they're just waiting for tests. We don't know how long it's going to be, but Disasi through the door, and every day. I don't know if it's through pure desperation for a defender, but every day I get more and more confident that perhaps Disasi could be the man to help out, sorry, our centre back issues. What's your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, as I've said kind of throughout, I think that he'll be a decent signing. I think he's a decent player. He was really good for West Ham. I like the kind of hate that this transfer was getting when it was first linked was really like just didn't make any sense to me. West Ham fans loved him. Villa fans loved him when he was there. Yeah, I think he could definitely make a difference for us. And ultimately, he doesn't really cost that much money because it's a loan, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, there's definitely positives to the deal, and he's got a point to prove. He knows he's not going to be at Chelsea next season. He knows he's not going to technically, at the moment, be at Palace next season. So, if he wants to get a big move, or if he wants to get a move to either of them, like another Premier League club or whatever, or to Palace, he's going to have to prove himself this season in the Europa League and in the Premier League. It's kind of like his year to either, make it or start going down, which is kind of what happened to him when he ended up at a relegation battle in West Ham. So a little bit of a lifeline for him, and I think that massively works in our favour. There's not really much else to talk about there because we have talked about him a lot in past weeks. So we will just talk about the other news, which is slightly more negative. Um, First things first, I'll go through Mateta, obviously linked to Villa as we know, but Pierre Sage seems to think he's doing well on the training pitch. He's shown no disinterest in not playing. He's doing what he needs to do, and at the moment, Pierre Sage thinks he's going to be staying until the end of the season. Do you think them comments are kind of true at the moment? Do you see him staying?
I got no reason to doubt Sarge telling the truth. I think that I struggle to kind of get my head around whether or not Mateta would like refuse to play or train. I kind of feel like he wouldn't do that. I feel like he'll do everything else that you can imagine, but I feel like that might be a step too far for him. I feel like he, I think he probably understands that even if he wants to move on Tuesday, if he plays and does well on Friday, then he's more likely to get that move, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, uh, I'm kind of weighing it up because I feel like Strand Larson and Ketia would be sufficient. And I got loads of like flack for saying that the other day. But like I think people forget how good Nketiah was before he got injured. And when he's not been injured, he has been solid. He was good at the weekend. And Strand Larson, if you give him service, he will score goals. Like there's this weird thing that we have where whenever Strand Larson plays or whenever he comes on for Mateta, the service just drops completely. And I think that's largely in part to the fact that a lot of the time last season, Strand Larson was kind of coming on with like the supporting cast and not the first choice players. So he was never getting service whatsoever, and he still did pretty well for us. Um, so like I think you give him service, we'd be fine. But I'm not going to say no to keeping Mateta because ultimately he probably does still guarantee you 10, 15 goals, even if he's going to miss loads of chances and cost us points in other games.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I'm getting flack for kind of saying the other side of things in terms of I kind of really want to keep Mateta because I don't know if the depth throughout the season is enough in attack. And I like Strand Larsen, but there's still some doubt just because he hasn't started consistently for us. So it does show how divided the Palace fan base is on it. And at the end of the day, the only winner of that is going to be the hindsight take, where if Mateta leaves, we'll see what happens with Strand Larsen. But right now, we've got both, and we may as well use both because we're a mid-table club and we have to use every asset they have, as long as they're not refusing to train, which brings me to Ismaila Sarr. Now, Pierre Sage had his press conference. He is saying Ismaila Sarr is having individual training sessions. He's still currently injured, and he also said he has a 3-year deal and he expects him to stay past that 3-year deal. On the other hand, from every single journalist kind of not related to Crystal Palace, you're hearing Liverpool 50 mil bid from Romano and the Athletic, which was apparently rejected by Palace. They want to wait for a replacement to come in for Sarr. If they were to let him go, that player would have to be ready and decided. It wouldn't be able to be like, we'll sell him and see what we can do. And then you're kind of hearing from other sources that the Saudi League are very, very interested in particular, Al Ittihad, who have just lost Musa Diaby and they see Sarr as the replacement. What the transfer rumours tell me is that there is someone pushing out these rumours at certain times, and I found it really, really interesting. And you probably did too, Henry. That the moment Pierre Sage had his press conference, when we all knew he was probably going to say Ismaila Sarr was injured, we see the Romano kind of breaking news that Liverpool have bidded for Ismaila Sarr. So, these rumours are coming out at, I think, planned times. Of course, there's interest in Sarr. Of course, he would want a wage increase. And of course, he could leave. But at the moment, seems like Palace are not going to let that happen. I don't know how to feel about Sarr because I don't know if it's true he's not training or not. And that's the bit of uncertainty that annoys me because if he's not training, then get him out the door immediately. If he has just got an injury and he's going to be happy coming back to the side, then that is a massive bonus for us, right, Henry?
Yes, I agree. It's hard for me. Like, I'm not going to burn my Sar shirt if he's refusing to train. Do you know what I mean? Mainly because that was very expensive.
Yeah.
But point aside, um, I think a bidding war would be good. I think that would be good news if we can get some some big European clubs and maybe like Liverpool, that kind of team, and then some grubby Saudi money that can come in and boost the money. I'm not going to complain, right? Um, I was having an argument with an Al Hilal fan last night. And I didn't know that they fucking existed. About 200 people show up to their games, and yeah, it's the most lucrative league in the world. And I was basically saying to him that, you spent 55 million, like Al Hilal individually, on Crescencio Somerville. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Well, you bought Saar for 15 million. How do you expect to sell him for profit?" So I was like, "Well, Somerville's bought for 25, sold for 55 because you're idiots."
Yeah.
And then I kind of threw in the kind of additional, the literal sole purpose of your league is to bankroll Europe and give players a big payday. No one gives a fuck about the Saudi league. No one, not even the players. They don't care. But we've never had Saudi money. We've never had Uncle Saudi come over and be
Yeah.
like, "Look, would you like £700 million for Will Hughes?" We've never had the chance to experiment with that. And I think that, like you say, if a replacement's lined up, fucking do it. Like, seriously do it. Yes, he's got 3 years left. Yes, you probably say he's in his prime now. Maybe, you never know. His last season might have been his best year and he's just going to
Yeah.
decline
Yeah.
from there. But take that fucking money, man. If you can get 70 odd million for him, do it. right? Because then also, if you sell Mateta, because even if Villa get Jackson, they still want Mateta. You then sell Mateta for, we apparently turned down 20 to 25 mil in the region of that. So you would expect a minimum of 25 million to sell. That's suddenly pushing 100 million, right? You sell
Yeah,
Munoz on top of that. You're laughing, and if you can go and reinvest that properly, you could go and sign Kevin Danois. You can go and confirm the Rafael Le Guin signing. You can go and look at someone like Ethan Wanyeri, see if Arsenal might consider selling. You know, all of these moves. Why could this not have just happened last week? That's the only thing I'd say. Um, do I think he'd be good at Liverpool? No. I think that he's an incredibly limited player. In terms of like don't get me wrong, I think he's class, but I think he's very limited in terms of like what he can actually do. I think Ollie might have put something out on his Twitter, like, and it was like kind of comparing like Ibrahim Mbaye, Yan Diamonde, Bradley Barcola, and or Minter as well, like, and they're kind of scatter graphs. And SARS is just like a tiny little blob in the middle, and all of theirs are like fully greened, which is unsurprising. I don't think this is a player that would do very well at kind of like a big six club. Um, but yeah, if he's refusing to train, just fuck off. His agent's a bell end, as you rightfully pointed out as well. Like, where are these stories coming from? How
yeah,
convenient. And you know, the kind of fucking Instagram stories like, "Our time will come," or like, "Good things comes to those who wait."
yeah.
Like, you're a fucking 14-year-old girl going for a heartbreak, you bell end.
Mate, his
I'm not here
agent
for
said
it,
something
mate.
about respect, and I'm like, over what you've been putting on your story over the last week, that is the most
Mate,
hypocritical statement I've ever seen in my
it's
life.
like, oh, we just want respect for African footballers. It's like, what the fuck does it have to do with the fact they're African?
Yeah,
Firstly, it has nothing to do with that. Like, what you trying to get some like sort of sob story going? It's, what are you talking about?
yeah,
And then yeah, and we understand there's years of hard work that go into these careers. We're not just trying to make money from them.
yeah, you are, mate.
Really, really, I
Yeah,
don't believe you, mate.
yeah,
Oh
same,
dear.
massively the same. And to be fair, when I was even thinking in my head 60 mil for Saar, I was kind of warm into the idea. Similar reason for you, you can get up players in.
There's a
And look,
prize for all of us, Luke. There's a prize for all of
exactly,
us.
exactly. It's just exactly. And when, like, I think because people want to say like he's limited is a negative thing, but it actually isn't because it worked perfectly for us. And but when you do make that move to a big six club, you are expected to do a lot more. So there's no shock that his traits might not be suited to a big six club. So it just is how it is. We'll see what happens with him. But of course, Man City, there is going to be no Ismaila Sarr. So no Sarr, possibly no problem. We'll see how we line up. I think what you think for the City game, Pino, Mateta, and Ketia, or Pino, Strand Larson, and Ketia, or something along them lines.
I don't even need to say now. You've given all the options.
Guessing.
Um,
There you go.
if I disappeared for a second, then I don't know what happened. My screen went black, and then I went
Oh,
black because I
oh,
couldn't see what was going on. So they might have
all
heard that.
good.
They might not have.
Yeah.
Who would I go with? I think he'll go with Henderson. Uh, did you ask me about the front three or the whole team?
Go with the whole team, to be fair, mate. I was going to dive into that
Okay.
after, anyways.
Um, Camvo, Richards, Tomiyasu. I don't think Disasi starts just yet. I think he'll
Yeah.
probably start next week. Mitchell, Kalili. What, Munoz isn't starting? No, because he's washed. Um, Kamada, Wharton, Guess, and I was about to say Johnson. He doesn't play for us anymore. Um, Guess and Nketiah, Mateta.
Yeah, I think it'll be something similar to that. It'll be really interesting as well because I think if you see that 11 and you see Man City against Bournemouth, of course, they got the win, they got it late on, but like there is a City team there that's not at its strongest, that is a little bit fragile, that is a little bit there for the taking under the lights at Selhurst Park on a Friday night with a couple of, big personality players or some flair players like Gesson and Mateta, just terrorizing their defense a little bit. It will be really interesting. I agree with you as well on Kalali, just because of how Munoz played last week. I just don't think it's worth the hassle right now, and it's worth giving our future right wing
Sell
back a
him.
chance. So yeah, well, I was saying completely different last week, and then I had to watch him at Evans. So it's great how quickly football can change, right? But I think City are a little bit there for the taking. Of course, they are the expected winners. But Maresca's first away game as well as City manager, right? Henry, there are positives to take ahead of this match, despite kind of what's going on off the pitch and despite losing to Everton last week.
Yeah, man. I mean, City looked poor. City looked really poor, and Mark Gay played in centre mid. I mean, yeah, I like him, but I feel like they could be weak there. I think that generally they played really poorly. They just didn't have that kind of cutting edge. Haaland seems to have lost any sort of threat that he provides in terms of intimidation since he cut all his hair off. He looks like a little boy. Um, I'd still shit myself if he was running at me, mind. But no, I just feel like they're there to be got at. Like they're not like Maresca's shit. I don't know how he got this job. Genuinely, I was listening to a podcast last night. I think it was Ripple Effect, and they had a City fan on, and he was just saying like, "Why have we bought Maresca? And he was shit at Chelsea. Why? Like just because he's bald and looks slightly like Pep and used to work with him? Like I don't get it. They're there for the taking, mate. Bournemouth probably. To be fair, I didn't actually think Bournemouth played that well. Thought they're pretty poor. But I feel like if you took the game to them and like kind of created chances and scored chances, I think
Yeah.
we'd be okay.
Well, that's exactly what we did first half against Everton. Apart from scoring the chances, we took the game to them. We had big chances, and for me, this feels like the first time, possibly in our Premier League history since we got promoted, that we may have a manager who properly will go for it from the start. He might lean into older ways that Palace are used to with the defending and counter attacking a bit. But if you're thinking he's going to do a high line with that counter pressing as well, which he probably will do, then that's really exciting to see. And that should create a lot of chances for us because the City defense do leak chances at the moment. It's just something they do. If they're pushing up forward, they're really, really easy to get at on the counter attack, and our counter press could work very well against that, right?
Yeah, for sure. And also, what I loved in the Everton game is how proactive the substitutes were. Like, how refreshing was it that, okay, like when like it always used to be a thing in football where if you've not done that well for the first half, second half starts, you get till 60 minutes, and then at 60 minutes, if a difference hasn't been made or noted, you make changes straight away. I mean, he does it early. He's so proactive, and it was so good to see. Um, and yeah, I think the positive football and like the kind of approach that we can take to City, these big teams struggle more when teams are very direct against them because they're not used to it, right? So you just go full throttle counter-attacking football, try and hit them as hard as you can. Like, are City good at defending deep and defending their box? No, probably not because they're not used to it. Yeah, they've got decent defenders, but like Ruben Diaz isn't that great. Like Kusanov, they've got the pace there, but they're not box defenders. They've never defended in a low block. They've never been pinned in. Imagine how refreshing it would be to see us just pin City down and just like go and go and go. And yeah, obviously they're going to hit us back because they've got the quality to do that. But it would be really good. I think it'd be a really good approach. Just basically go all out, see what you can do. Hopefully, try and just smack the shit out of them. And take your chance. That's the most important thing because we take our chances against Everton. It's a different game. We could probably go into half time 2 or 3 nil up. And yeah, you can't
Yeah.
always score. You're going to miss chances. That's fine. But like, if you get big chances, like 5 yards out, don't hit the post. Just put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and like even if these spells of us kind of taking them on are kind of planned, like first 15, just go for it. Next 5, 10, maybe, settle back, get your fitness back, do these little things that you have to do. It'll just be really refreshing to see. And there's a calling out to the fans as well. It's a Friday night at Selhurst Park. It's time to be loud, get that intimidating atmosphere back, and show teams why we won't hopefully be down near the bottom of the table this season in terms of in that relegation battle. There's Palace fans are happy to expect the first two games that we won't get any wins out of or any points out of. But, there's that added pressure a little bit with Ipswich and Hull winning their games, with just Fulham scoring a couple goals against Chelsea. I think for me, that's a really big thing. Like, we have to score because pre-season was lacking goals. Everton's lacked goals. So if we can't get that goal scoring back, even if we lose, that's the little bit of the worry, isn't it, then headed into Fulham and Ipswich, right?
Yeah, I think you kind of want to get into the rhythm of scoring goal. I mean, look at Brentford, man. Fucking hell. Like
Yeah,
they scored goals in pre-season. They won 6 something and 7-0 in their final pre-season games. They've then come into the Premier League, should have beat Spurs by 4 or 5, ended up scoring 3, and then beat Blues 6-1 in the
yeah.
Carabao Cup last night. Like
20 goals in four
these are
games.
it's insane, but you're completely right, mate. You get into the habit of scoring, and it just happens. Like I don't know about when you play football when you were younger. Like when I used to play, if we were like all in sync and we were scoring loads of goals, like that run would continue because every time you go on a pitch, you just know where to find how to find the net. You know how to make the chances, and like
Hang
it
on, mate.
clearly.
Sorry. I've got goosebumps.
What's
Breaking
happened?
news from Sasha Tavulari. Now, I don't know how reliable he is. Palace are
He's all
set to
right.
hijack the signing of Joel Ordonez. Club Brugge have reached an agreement with the Eagles for a permanent transfer.
No way. No
That
way.
is, yeah,
I don't
sorry, mate.
believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't either,
Fuck
but
off.
that would
Well,
be.
Sasha's decent, to be fair. Have you
Oh,
got fucking
God.
notifications on for every journalist ever?
We've got a.
Thomas Tatke as well. Club Brugge have reached an agreement on almost all details for Joel Ordonez with CPFC. Deal includes about
Mate.
30 mil plus bonuses and more than 10% on the added value upon mate. That is fucking unbelievable. That
Right,
is
well,
unbelievable.
dive in. Dive in. Why would that be unbelievable in your eyes, mate?
Mate, he's fucking mustard. This guy is the bollocks.
That's
We
it.
tried to
End of
sign him,
video.
bro. We tried to sign him last summer, right? Came really close. We were looking at a double deal for him and Zolis. Zolis almost happened, and then Zolis's the sporting director was like, "Look, mate, give us a year. You'll be at Arsenal." Look what happened. Ordonez injured slightly across the end of last season, and is still like recovering
Still
from his
injured at the
knock.
moment, yeah.
But fuck me, this kid is like the bollocks, mate. He looks like one of the best young defenders in the world, genuine like superstar level. He probably similar kind of at the time similar kind of level to Diamonde that's obviously gone to Forest, but I think this guy's better. I genuinely think he's amazing.
Mate, Romano. Romano's just said it as well.
Fuck off, this is
Mate,
incredible.
mate, what's
This is
going
the
on?
best.
What? What?
And live on the pod as well.
Live on the pod. If that doesn't deserve some more subscribers, I
Wow,
don't know
I'm
what
getting a little.
will. That is mad, bro. Um,
But I actually can't believe it. This is crazy. This is, yeah, massive breaking. Club Brugge agreed deal to sign Joe. That's fucked,
yeah, it's like agreed. It's not even like
bro. It's done.
Jesus. Well, deal now subject to medical tests as Ordonez is currently injured. So that is the 2% pessimism that I will take from that. But that is huge. That means we have Disasi, Tomiyasu, Ordonez coming in. We have Camvo, Richards, and maybe that tells us that Chadi Ria is sadly going to be out for a lot longer than expected because we've not just signed Disasi and a younger bit of cover. We've signed two technically Premier League ready defenders.
Quick,
I
quick
don't
as
really
well,
know.
quick as well. Good replacement for Lacroix. I'll
Yeah,
do a deep dive. I'll literally the second we finish this, I'll start a deep dive. It will probably be up similar time to this goes out.
no, that's yeah.
So go
Actually,
go
go
over
into
to my
that. Why?
Twitter.
Why would that be a good
And then,
replacement for Lacroix quickly?
well, because he's athletic, he's quick. We don't have that at
Yeah,
the minute, do we? At all. Like we just don't have it whatsoever. Um, you know, proper. Oh, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. You'll have to
yeah,
go. You'll have to read my deep dive to find out more.
yeah. Amazing. And just last bit then, because I've lost trail of thought and everything. Let's just do predictions for the
Score
City game.
predictions.
Um,
Yes.
oh, I'm gonna go. I was so wrong last week. I said 3-0. That was
Oh, I remember
pathetic.
that. And I asked if you've been drinking.
Yeah, apparently had been. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-all because I'm gonna stay positive. What
Fucking
about
hell,
you,
mate.
mate?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go 16-2 to Palace. There's no
Nice.
reason
We
for those
might as
numbers.
well. We
Nah,
might
I
as
think I
well.
think we win. I think we win. 2-1 Palace.
Yeah, we both love that.
Love
Adonis
the comments as
praise,
well, by
right?
the way, guys. bro. Yeah, Ordonez brace with a crutch, with his crutches. The comments, by the way, absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Read all of them, 100%. Don't take our predictions as like a reason to be positive. For the love of fucking God, please. I saw so many people last week that are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I wasn't really feeling up for it, but now I've heard you guys, I'm buzzing." It's like, what the fuck? Don't listen to
Yeah.
us. And I'm pretty sure I predicted us to lose anyway.
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
99% sure.
I
We
think,
need
but
to
we were
do a
very positive during the
we need
episode, so that's
we
what.
need to do a running tally of our predictions to see how many we
Yeah,
get right. I think that'd be great.
good shout. Well, we're both on 0 anyway, so that's easy to tally, and it will probably continue because we both backed Palace to win 2-1.
I think I said we lost.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh,
So
fuming.
actually, I'm winning. We'll do a
I'm not.
point for correct result and 3 points for a correct scoreline.
Yeah, all right. We'll check in on that.
1-0, mate. Unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. Unlucky indeed. Pessimism wins yet again. No, I'm joking. And yeah,
It
Palace
pays to
fans,
be
let us
negative.
know. Yeah, yeah. Palace fans, let us know your predictions as well in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on Ordonez signing or practically signing or hopefully signing. I don't want to, jinx it. I can't lie. That's probably the best place to end it, mate. Otherwise, we'll just carry on
I've got
celebrating for a bit.
I've got one quick thing for any Americans watching, because I know there are a few of you, or anyone on the other side of not in England. On Friday morning, actually probably about midday UK time, I am on Premier League Productions, whatever that is. It the Premier League channel? I'm on there like live from Selhurst Park. So fucking get involved,
Get
mate.
on
Come and
it.
watch me. Yeah,
Get
come on.
on it.
Shameless plug, but I don't
Has to be
care.
done.
Has to be done.
And we'll just end on another plug. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment, and we will see you later.